Welcome to the Trews Fame Friday. Guns are cool, there's no denying that. By trying to deny it, you get into an argument, you won't win. But are the consequences of guns cool?
Action movie star Liam Neeson told Gulf News that America has too many guns. I'm Diana Feldzone for Fox 411.
That's the exact voice that people do have in the news in the future, isn't it? Hello, welcome to the Blade Runner land. She's sort of got that androgynous, cyborg gorgeousness that comes when the world is stripped of humanity.
Perhaps ironic from the film hero who saves the day with many types of guns in the Taken franchise.
Side note, how many people are going to get taken from Liam Neeson before he puts a lock on his door?
He told the outlet that there's too many bleeping guns out there. There's over 300 million guns, privately owned in America. I think it's a bleeping disgrace.
I don't reckon Liam Neeson would have said that. He's from Ireland. I reckon he's probably confident saying fuck.
Liam Neeson has angered the gun company that provided weapons for his new action flick Taken 3.
Can you not talk bad about guns? We borrowed you them guns.
Gunmaker Para USA said that the Irish actor's comments showed his ignorance of the American Second Amendment.
You're very ignorant there, Liam, suggesting that guns and death from guns have some link.
The company says they won't be providing guns for any more Neeson films and called on others in the firearms industry to do the same.
There is a campaign in America currently to have some gun safety, which seems like the sort of thing you might want if you've got a gun. Should we have guns? Definitely. Should we have safety? We're going to need a campaign. That's a difficult idea. I don't know if we want safety with it, but Every Town for Gun Safety is a popular campaign to confront the powerful NRA-backed lobbies.
Neeson addressed his gun-toting role in Taken 3 and explained that the audience needs to differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Lobbyists said that they didn't appreciate Mr. Neeson making the point that fantasy and reality are two separate realms. We didn't lend you these guns for you to be drawing a distinction between the imagined world and the physical shared consensual world that we all inhabit.
There are moments in life when Americans rally around a common cause. It happened over the weekend in record-breaking fashion. Millions of theater-goers turned out to watch American Sniper, the story of Navy SEAL Chris Kyle. There were standing ovations and tears. Some audiences were so overcome they sat in stunned silence.
This guy's making his opinion quite clear. I suppose what a film like American Sniper does, and I've not seen it yet, so I can't really judge, but it legitimises a certain kind of sentiment. The kind of people that have weighed into the argument, like, for example, Sarah Palin, she said, God bless our troops, especially our snipers, especially them. I've met loads of American military members, and there's no doubt that people are prepared to go and risk life and death. You've got to applaud that sentiment, but I don't think in appreciating them, it means you can't question what happens with that energy, where it's put, can you? You can't go, that's it though, just we like the troops, and then there's like a wall, a thought wall there.
But now some in Hollywood are taking aim at the Navy SEAL. Michael Moore tweeted that snipers like Chris Kyle are cowards. And Seth Rogen, who made his mark with movies about sexually frustrated potheads, compared Kyle's biopic to a Nazi propaganda film.
She says about Hollywood leftists, you are spitting on the graves of freedom fighters who allow you to do what you do. But more importantly, who allow political and economic elites to do what they do. That's more significant. Like, people don't go to war so that people can make Seth Rogen films or make Taken. Like, they go to war so that mostly for energy companies, arms companies, political elites that govern the world. I think we know that already.
And one industry trade paper reports that a growing number of Hollywood types are wondering if director Clint Eastwood should be celebrating a killer. Here is the sum and substance, folks. Chris Kyle killed bad guys so that good guys could live.
There you go. Simple as that. Some of them were children. I mean, it becomes a bit blurred, doesn't it? I suppose in extreme situations, extreme measures are necessary, but one can't help but think that what's really being celebrated here is the ability to say things or to support statements like Chris Kyle's statement, I hate those damn savages, I couldn't give a flying fuck about Iraqis. Now, normal people that have not been in wars can't ever say that. So even if they think, I don't give a flying fuck about Iraqis, you can't come out and say that, but Chris Kyle, as a man who's seen frontline action, can say that. And so you can sort of vent your, well, I'd like to say I don't give a flying fuck about Iraqis, vicariously through Chris Kyle. Like, what does this film symbolise? American military might, American military power, without the kind of complications of should we be in those territories in the first place, and what are the motivations for being in those territories? If you remove those things, it's kind of heroic. Don't remove those things.
Somewhere today, a soldier is reading her daughter a bedtime story, and a Marine is tossing a football with his son because a Navy SEAL sharpshooter did his job.
It's interesting that he's willing to provide really minute context for his own beliefs, but no context for information that contravenes his beliefs. Somewhere in America, there's a lovely soldier giving a cake to a little disabled boy. Whilst in Iraq, those ape-like savages spit and piss on each other's graves and have sex with each other's children. Oh, I don't think they do that. They do, and it's all thanks to Chris Kyle.
Michael Moore and Seth Rogen are dishonorable men who make their living playing make-believe. But Chris Kyle? Well, Chris Kyle is a hero, a real-life American hero.
In a way, you can't dispute Chris Kyle's bravery or the bravery of anyone that's prepared to go into war. But the broader issue is, can you distinguish between heroic acts from individuals and the ends to which those heroic acts are being used? Can you distinguish between Liam Neeson being in a film and then sort of saying, I don't like the idea that I'm tacitly supporting the gun trade. But most importantly, what is the fuel behind all this phenomena? Fear. As long as people are frightened, people want to buy guns. As long as people are frightened, they'll want to have heroic figures like Chris Kyle knocking off Iraqis and not thinking about the consequences, like whether or not some of those people were children and non-combatants. So as long as we are frightened and kept frightened, we can live within the confines of these reductive arguments. I would advise you to break open your head, to, contrary to the advice of some of the lobbyists, do break the line between fantasy and reality, because then we can bring down new imagined realms and they might be better than this one. Don't be afraid. Ridicule is nothing to be scared of. Subscribe here, True News.
Is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Truths is like the news. If the news was true, I want some truths. Let's have some truths.